Erica Glessing, and you're joining me on The Erica Glessing Show, where we receive 8 minutes of inspiration. And oh my gosh, it's not quite enough time for the inspiration of this author. I'm so blessed to have her with me today. She went through some amazing difficulties and traumas, and she's overcome them. I'm so joyful to have with me Amberly Lago. It is so nice to have you here. Author,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
excited. Sorry, I'm so excited to talk to you.
I know, I don't even normally do regular introductions, but and in fact, I can sort of hear myself drawling with you.
Be careful, you'll start talking like me.
So let's share what happened. It was in May 2010, and you were driving a Harley, and bam.
Yeah, but I tell you what, in the blink of an eye, your whole life can change. I went from being a former professional dancer and an athlete, and I was sponsored by Nike, and I had a fitness career where I had trainers that worked for me, and I was probably the healthiest I've ever been and happiest I had ever been in my life. And I got T-boned by an SUV while I was riding on my Harley home from work. And, I woke up out of a coma, and the first thing they told me was they were going to have to amputate my leg. And my leg, that was my livelihood. That's how I made a living my entire life.
Without a leg. Yeah. You're like, I don't think so.
I was like, no. And actually, my husband is the one who stepped in and said, no, you're not going to amputate her leg. I want her to wake up with 2 legs. And so he still reminds me of that because of him, he's like, because of me, you have 2 legs. And I'm like, thanks, honey. But
yeah, not that many husbands can have that much claim to fame, right?
Yes. He's like, you are who you are because of me, But it took, I tell you, I had a 1% chance of saving my leg, and it took 34 surgeries to piece by piece put my leg back together.
Wow.
And that was actually the easy part. The hard part was when I was diagnosed with a nerve disease dubbed the suicide disease called CRPS, which leaves me in constant chronic pain. So I survived this horrific accident, got through all these surgeries, only to be told you're going to live in pain the rest of your life. And so I really hit rock bottom, and I had to figure out a way how to climb out, because all the tool, I didn't really have that many tools. The only tool that I really had was running. And now I was stuck in a hospital bed in pain, and I couldn't run. So I started getting real depressed, and I really had to hold on to hope and faith and really do a daily gratitude journal. And I had to be of service. And that was really key in my recovery.
Yeah, because just that whole thing of like, when things are so bad, I really think you just tapped into it so strongly that switch into gratitude for something.
Well, like, and people ask me all the time, how can you be grateful when you're in pain? Or how can you be grateful? Or they'll say, how can I be grateful when I'm going through a divorce? Or how can you be grateful when you're stuck in a hospital bed, or you look the way you do, all scarred up now? And there's always something to be grateful for. When I was in the hospital bed, I was grateful that I had incredible nurses and doctors that looked after me, that I did have a support system. I was grateful that I had clients that I maybe couldn't train them on the gym floor, but I could get them set up with their exercise routines by writing them down.
Nice.
I was grateful that I had a view from the hospital room. Now, sometimes when I get in a place where I start feeling myself going down that road of despair or going towards darkness, I have to quickly hold on to something that I'm grateful for. And it's something I practice every day. In fact, my daughter and I get in bed at night, every night. And first we have cuddle time with our little 3-pound puppy. And we're like, cuddle time. And we get together and cuddle. And then we talk about what was the best part of our day, and we name one thing that we're grateful for.
Wow.
Now, most of the time hers is something like really silly, but at least I want to teach my kids how to really thrive in life. I didn't want to set an example of living a life in that victimhood, or
Right.
that why me.
Right.
I would rather, show an example of resilience. And so I really had to develop a lot of tools on how to strengthen my resilience. And that was what I was so passionate about sharing with
Right.
others, is just how to strengthen our resilience, because we all have it. And it's like working a muscle at the gym to get stronger. We have to strengthen our resilience, and it's possible.
So tell us the name of your book.
It's called True Grit and Grace, Turning Tragedy into Triumph.
Wow. And it's your first book, right?
It's my first book, and I'm working on my second, and I
Oh,
think my
good.
husband's gonna kill me when he finds out about that, because it's a lot working on a book. It takes a
Yeah.
lot. It's a labor of love for sure, and you have to.
Yeah.
For me, I was very passionate about it, and so I think when you're passionate about something, then it works and it comes across and it touches people when they can resonate with your story and they can say, "Me too," you know.
And then you got to be on the Today Show on the launch day of your book.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe that?
No,
When
I think that's just
they
stunning.
called
Like,
me from NBC,
yeah.
oh, when they called me from NBC, I couldn't speak on the phone. And I'm sure they were probably thinking, I don't know if we want this girl. She can't even talk. But I was so excited to be invited to share my story that, I mean, it was one of the best days of my life. It was so much fun getting to go to New York on the day my book launched. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
it's a perfect day. I could just talk to you forever, but we're running a little low on time. So I want everyone to know, if you missed the open, this is Amberly Lago, and her book is called True Grit and Grace. And I really encourage you to go get a copy of her book and learn a little bit more about resilience. And then maybe just if you have one more, just kind of word of advice as people are heading into 2019, they're starting a new year. What else can you share with the audience, like that might help them have a better year this year?
I think it's all about mindset. I think mindset has been what has really helped me overcome so much and continue to, thrive despite living in pain and despite my circumstances. And I think that no matter what your circumstances are, there's always hope. Just hold on to hope, and you can have the life you've always dreamed of, even if your circumstances have narrowed your possibilities.
That's amazing. And you've really done this. You really walked the talk. So how do we reach you and find out more, and tell us how to find you on the gram as well?
Oh, yeah, I love connecting with people, so I hope you'll reach out and say hi. You can find me and my book at amberlylago.com. And I love being on social media and connecting with the community. I'm on Instagram at Amberly Lago Motivation. And you can find me on Facebook too at Amberly Lago Speaker.
Perfect. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thanks for having me.